The Storm Ion Pro will be releasing with Rotogrip's X-Cell on June 21st. The Ion Pro is new territory for Storm, delivering competition to the Envy Tours and Black Venoms of the world, so we're going to take a different look at it this time, featuring Zach. Unfortunately, my bird's eye camera footage was corrupted, so we're just lane level for this one. We are, of course, at Royal Crest Lanes in Lawrence, Kansas, bowling on the Kegel Chromium Challenge pattern. The lane graph is linked in the description if you want to take a look at the details. As we look at Zach's layout, there are also instructional videos in the description to teach you about cores and layouts if you don't know what all the numbers mean, as well as a number of links and discount codes. I tried to go easier on the advertising, but my sponsors like Royal Crest, Bowlers Mart, and CoolWick are a big part of supporting the channel, plus using my code ROSEDALL10 at checkout at CoolWick knocks 10% off, and also helps sponsor jerseys for Royal Crest Youth League bowlers, so do it for the kids. Since Zach is a full-time PBA regional member, we're going to focus more on arsenal building, or where and when the Ion is going to fit for him, and with what to avoid redundancy with the biases review. We'll still talk about the details first because we kind of have to. Starting with the tech specs, the new Element Tour AI core is SPI's first/second foray into the asymmetric tour type of core territory, in addition to being the first core that they designed specifically to collaborate with the AI core. Everything else that AI has been on so far has just been an existing core that they added AI to. The numbers in 15 pounds are a 247 RG, 035 differential, and an 014 int diff. 16-pound numbers are extremely close, but 14 unfortunately sees the RG jump up to 251, and with this ball already being fairly clean and responsive, that's just going to exaggerate all that. Not significantly so, I don't think, but you won't quite get the same experience. However, you'll still have a similar relationship from the Ion to the IQ Tour, which also has a higher RG in 14. The reason I say this is their first/second time with this kind of a core is because the tour dynamics was kind of this direction, but the diff and int diff was too far away, and the cover was much too weak to really be in this kind of zone where the Obsession Tour, Envy Tour, and Black Venom live. The cover's fairly simple. It's TX16 hybrid at 4000 grit out of the box, same surface prep as the IQ Tour. This is the first time we've seen this cover version stateside. It's the hybrid version of the Phase 2 and Journey cover, so proven benchmark formula, proven core number territory, and I think it makes sense because balls like the IQ Tour are starting to show their age, or ball reaction has just evolved a little beyond it. The Ion Pro, on paper, should be a ball that rolls like an IQ, but with more teeth and that gets 10 more often. It's interesting because it looks a bunch like an IQ Tour, but as he moves left, it keeps moving with him, and while it gets a little slower as he gets deeper, it's not a terribly uncomfortable adjustment to make it work, or basically he's not having to help it much. Like I mentioned in the XL review, the Ion is a little bit less of everything across the board. A little weaker, a little longer, a little smoother, making it a perfect half to full ball down from the X. So the two balls do make sense to buy or own as a pair while we're talking about it. Whether or not the Ion is really redefining or reinventing the benchmark or whatever, it does feel very much like an update at the very least. It's a couple balls down from the big stuff, but definitely a ball up from the IQ Tour, and let's just go ahead and compare the two since the IQ is really the standard that we're judging the Ion from. I love it when something I'm talking about is clearly visible on camera. Sometimes it's not, sometimes it seems like splitting hairs, sometimes it's very difficult to see, and is one of those you had to be there type of things, or actually have to be throwing the two balls side by side yourself before you really fully get it or understand it. Now in this case, it's crystal clear. The Ion and the IQ roll extremely similarly. They both have the same round, continuous shape, but it's very apparent that the Ion is the stronger and definitely sharper reaction. It also illustrates the yin and yang with the IQ. It's really hard to miss the pocket with. It's probably still the easiest ball out there to get to the pocket with, but getting it through the pins right can be challenging sometimes and creates a real dilemma. It's hard to risk giving up complete pocket control in pursuit of something that's going to carry more often. When you're on more difficult conditions, hitting the pocket and picking up spares is at a premium, and for over a decade the IQ Tour has been that ball. As bowlers get better though, and as the power game has become more and more prominent, hitting the pocket isn't enough. You've got to get them all down more often than not. This is where the Ion Pro comes in. When the Tour Dynamics came out, I thought that they could just retire the IQ because I didn't see a thing that the IQ could do that the TDX couldn't do or do better. However, the cover on the TDX was weaker and it got really weak when it shined up, so ultimately it just couldn't hang the way I thought it would. I'm not going to proclaim the Ion the IQ Tour killer now, learn my lesson there, but what do you think? You're going to lose a little stability with the Ion versus the IQ, I think, but realistically the IQ might be a little too stable or controllable. Sure, the Ion is quicker or sharper on friction, but I think that's the way the needle needed to move anyway. I think the Ion is definitely more versatile left to right. Zach is able to move around easier, and while they're similar on length, I'm not sure if that's going to make the Ion a little more over-under, but it doesn't seem like it initially. We'll see what happens on the report card in a couple months, but for now, the Ion Pro seems like a straight-up IQ Tour upgrade. Once again, the Ion Pro releases with Rotogrips XL on June 21st. I also have reviews for that one featuring both Tobias and Zach. Also, please hit the description, too many links and codes to keep dragging out every video with. Bowler's Mart link, CoolWick discount code, Nexus Backpack V2 discount link, lane condition, layout and core videos, Patreon, Discord, all of it. This video was brought to you by Panda Bear Productions. We put the in bowling. Thanks for watching, and may the strikes be with you.